Okay, today we're going to discuss how dire things have become in the US and they're panicking. So the first thing you have to know is that RRP, the reverse repo facility, has gone down from 2.2 trillion in 2022 to zero effectively now. That was the Fed's piggy bank. They printed a ton of money and it all went in there and now it's all come out and there's none left. Okay, that's fine. Now what's happening here? 2022 10-year bond buybacks. Buying your own 10-year bonds. That is what they are coming down to. The US is now buying its own long-term bonds. This is part of, it's basically yield curve control, essentially it's what it is. And it's gone from zero to now 180 billion so far in 2025. And the reason they're doing that is no one wants to buy the bonds. No one wants those long-dated bonds and they want more interest for it. So in order to keep the interest rate down, and look like it's a fair market. They don't want to be like Japan where they just buy everything and drop the rate to zero. Here they want to make it appear there's a free market. Look, it's 4.1%. Oh, it's 4.2. Rubbish. They're basically, if it goes out of control, they're buying it and that's what's happening. They're having to buy these long-term bonds. It's definitely happened in the US. I told you the tail on the bond auctions are terrible, meaning it's taking a lot more to clear. They're having to offer higher interest to clear. That is how bad it's becoming in the US. That they're doing buybacks essentially because they cannot fund it. Then we have the Genius Act. The Genius Act was the Crypto Act, and it essentially forces these stable coins to buy US debt. Basically, I'll explain to you. So stable coins like Tether are meant to hold for every $1 of one Tether, you're meant to have $1. Now you can have that in cash, or the Genius Act said you can have it in UST bills. Obviously, we want you to buy our debt. So that is what they did. They're saying, all you crypto, and that's why they're saying, go into crypto, go crypto, it's great, crypto is amazing. Why? Because you're forced to then buy stable coins and then go, which is essentially buying US debt, US paper, because they're printing so much money. And finally, we have the unemployment, which we know it's at 1.2 million. It was a revision, massive revision done, and we saw that it went 900,000 jobs were erased, and essentially we have an increase in unemployment of 1.2 million. Why doesn't that reflect in the unemployment percentage? Because it's a load of rubbish. Don't look at U3 numbers, which is if you've been looking for work in the last 6 months. If you haven't, well, then you're not included, right? You've been looking for work for 7 months, you're not included. You've been looking for work for a year, you're not included, right? That is the retarded unemployment stats that you look at. It's meaningless waffle junk, right? All you have to know is currently there are less vacancies available in the entire US economy than there are people looking for work. That is the official numbers. So there's just not enough work there. I've seen people, you can go on the blogs, you can go on the TikToks or whatever, you will see people are desperate, people with qualifications, people with degrees, people with experience. They are not finding anything anywhere. I'm talking Walmart jobs, I'm talking DoorDash. There is nothing. It's really ugly out there. Okay, so the situation in the US is dire, and what's happening is because the whole world is even in worse state, right? America's bad, but the whole world is even worse. We've just had Argentina yesterday. They are now about to agree a swap line with the US, which basically means the US gives them US dollars and they get worthless Argentinian pesos, and then they can reverse them later on. And the reason is that there was a run on the Argentinian peso, and that was really destroying everything. And that's because of Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs have destroyed Argentinian exports. So Argentina said, listen, well, we could do Brazil, we could pivot to China, which is what Brazil have done, or you can help us out. And that's basically what Scott Bessent is now trying to do, trying to help them out, to stop them pivoting to China, because that is where the money is. They make stuff that people want at a cheap price and the whole world buys from them, and they have tons of money because they sell a lot of stuff that people want.